So I bought a Color DMD for the Metallica limited edition I recently picked up. So I bought it second hand, so from on Aussie Arcade. So that's the equivalent to the Australian pin side. So it comes with, it's got all the bits and pieces which the person has packed up very nicely. Some hex standoff nuts and some fasteners, a ribbon cable, instructions which basically tells you to go to their website for instructions, a power cable with a couple of Molex plugs on, the LCD itself, and then a perspex sort of protector thing. I'm not quite sure what that is. So the first thing I'm going to do is fire up the iPad. I'll go to the support website. I'll switch to the iPad recording so you can have a look at a bit closer than this, and let's get this installed. It shouldn't take too long. I've done a couple of these. Here's the support page. Simply click on the hardware installation instructions, scroll down to the appropriate game that you have and whether you have an LCD or an LED. So I've got a SAM LCD mount with metal panels. Click on that and up pop the instructions. So that all looks pretty simple. And says that the only tool you really need is a screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, and so I've opened up the back box, folded the speaker panel forward. I've got my Phillips head screwdriver, my 1/4 inch nut driver, just a little bowl for collecting things. So the first thing it says is to disconnect the ribbon cable from the DMD. So it's a matter of opening up the little fastening and removing that, removing the power cable. And you've obviously got these ground braids that are attached, and it now says to remove the cables and unplug the end from the back box. So the power cable, it says to unplug that in the back box, so that's an interesting one. So this looks a little bit different. The power cable already looks a little bit different from the plugs that I've received. So that's a 2-plug Molex, and this is a 3-plug, 3-pin. So this is looks a bit different, that power cable that goes to the board. This looks identical, this end, on the replacement cable, but I'm not sure how that's going to tie together. So let's see how we go. So remove the DMD mounting screws. So these 8 screws here. So let's just take those out quickly. Okay, so that's now basically removed. A little bit of... So there's the old DMD that's been removed. Let's put that in a safe place. Now you'll notice that the color screen, or the protector, is red. If you can see that. But the glass is red, which is interesting. Okay, so it's as if the machine has a transparent colored plastic film attached to the wooden speaker panel. Carefully remove it. That's what this is. I don't know quite what they mean, but carefully remove it. It looks like it's jammed in, it's stuck in. Because you obviously don't want your Color DMD. Ah, okay. Okay, there's your answer. That's just a film. Okay, so that film comes off, and there's clear, still some clear plastic which sits. So let's go and store this away with the original DMD. Okay, so that's what that color film is. I was trying to push from underneath, which obviously wasn't working because these are screwed in. Remove the protective film from the upside of the new Color DMD. That's fine because it's not new, it's been previously loved. Position the Color DMD face down with the speaker panel centered, shown in figure B, and align the 4 stern mounting screws. Okay, so let's get the DMD. Okay. So you want it so that the controller board is, if you're looking at the game, is on the right hand side, like this. And the stern mounting holes are these ones on the furthest outside. If the game has a metal speaker panel, use the 4 standoff speaker kit sold separately. Okay, well this is made of wood, so I'm good. So putting the 4 screws back, remembering to include the ground braid. That just means that if there's some form of short circuit of any way, shape, or form, you don't kill yourself. So let's just put the ground braid back. Let's do alternate corners first, just to make sure it's nice and aligned. Okay. Now it tells you to go locate the power cable. Okay, so you've got one end with a single connector and then the other with 2 and then the one with single. So this is your standard Molex size connector. This gets plugged into the DMD. There we go, that's in there. Okay, so by removing this, it's not actually an issue because we're not going to use that as a power source. Okay, that's interesting. So here's the original power cord that goes out. That worried me a little bit. So now this goes down into the game. Let's put that down through here. We're going to have to open up the back box. Down the center. So we've got the plate filled up and it's at a bit of a weird angle, but it's the best way to have a look. So this is the cable that's coming through that little gap in the back of the back box down. I've secured it underneath a couple of clips along the way. And then here, underneath here, there's a little attachment on the side just above the power supply. You'll notice that there is a spare plug, which I've never really noticed before, tucked away nicely in there, and this is what this is supposed to go into. All the wires are nicely tucked away, and I think this little daisy chain thing is just in the event that you need to get another power supply from somebody. So now the last thing to do is just to take that ribbon cable, and for the for this game it goes so the Metallica the Stern games, you need to see that it goes into the appropriate socket. There's two, so in this one, and I believe it's actually not possible to put it in the wrong one, but this one goes in like this, and it says that the red stripe needs, which always indicates the first pin on the cable, needs to go at the top end, so that the end which is closest to the buttons, or the top of the speaker panel. So that's the top. So that ribbon cable is now in and ready to go. So once you've got all these in place, all the cables are plugged in, there's nothing pinching, you can turn the game back on. Let's have a look. There we go. I'm going to update the ROM anyway. I don't know what was in here when I bought it. It looks like it's obviously got the Metallica software in there. So to do that, you put your USB in, and then you're going to hold down this button for 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5. And this little initiate button comes on, and it's then going to go and take the software off of the USB. It's going to update that ROM to the latest ROM that I downloaded a minute ago, which is on here in the root folder. And so you can see this button PRG is flashing this little light here, LED on the back box is light. Once that is done, my guess is that the status will change here to done, and the screen will be ready to go and fully functional. There's no status on the screen at all while it's updating. It's been going for quite a while, so I'm getting just a little bit worried. Okay, this is an interesting one. So it's clearly not finding the file. So let me go and download it again and make sure that I've got it on this USB card. Let's see what we can do. So I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. It looks like I downloaded the wrong ROM. So just be careful when you go through that, making sure that you have the right ROM to on your USB chip. So the file name needs to be chroma.rom for this LCD. So I'm going to start again, put that in, let's try again, push this down, let's zoom in so you can see the individual lights. Okay, so we hold this down for 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two lights illuminate, and that looks like it's a lot more active than it was before. So I suppose the moral of the story is make sure you get the right ROM file. It should take 30 seconds. If that just pulses and does nothing, it means it can't find the file. You've obviously made a mistake with what you've done. So formatted with F32, FAT32, and the right file, the right name, and in it goes, and after 30 seconds that should be back up and running. So let's just wait that out. And the init or initialize and programming button LEDs have gone out now, and it just says done, which means when I flip this over, there you go. So you can see that the LCD is updated and working. The ROM, you can remove the USB from it. So now we can just reinsert this, making sure none of the wires are clipped to the back, and the game is good to go, fully installed. I know this is a pretty basic video, but if it can save you time and give you the confidence to do this, if this is the first time you've done it, then this video is performing its job. If you like this video, you can click like, you can subscribe. Again, I'm not an expert at pinball repair and maintenance. I'm just learning as I go, recording what as I do, hopefully giving others confidence to do the same. That's it. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye. Until next time.